Welcome to Steward Leaders, a podcast for leaders who understand that our leadership is not about us. I'm Eric Alexander. In these conversations, we explore what it means to lead as stewards, living our leadership for something bigger than ourselves. Listeners, thanks for joining us today for another Steward Leaders conversation, and thanks to you as well, Scott Dueser, for being here to have that conversation.
Eric, it's my pleasure to be with you today, and I just want to say thank you for taking your time to have me.
You're very gracious, and listeners, we just wrapped up a part one of this that if you haven't heard it already, when you wrap this one up, go back and find that. You don't want to miss it. It was really, really good. So let me tell everybody a little bit about Scott. Texas banking icon from my perspective. He's the executive chairman at First Financial Bank in Abilene, Texas, and you've been there for 50 years,
50 years.
36 years of those as CEO, and came up through the ranks, and you've been doing banking a long time at a very, very successful Texas community bank.
Well, thank you. It's been fun.
So a couple things about the bank, about 15 billion in assets, and from when I was in banking, it was one of the banks that we regularly looked to for watching how Scott was leading, watching what the bank was doing. Very enviable earnings record, very, very enviable stock valuation multiple that always got everybody's attention. So successful over time, and it really created a lot of value and continues to create a lot of value for a lot of people. He's a Texas boy, Texas Tech graduate, Southwest Graduate School of Banking. I personally have had some contact with some of those too. Didn't go to Tech, went to school down the street, but yes, so grateful you're here. And we had a conversation about stewardship in banking that you'll want to go back and listen to. This one, though, we want to go a little bit different direction, stewardship of corporate culture. He and I were both at a banking conference back in April in Dallas, and he gave a keynote where he talked about that. I was there on an M&A panel, but I got to hear what he shared there, and it's powerful, it's practical. So Scott, let's talk about some of what you shared there.
All right. We started talking about one of the big things in that keynote speech was customer service. And when I came into management at the bank, I would go to different branches, and one branch would be okay, one branch would be not good with customer service, and another would be great. So my deal was, how do we get everybody on the same page? How do we give that consistent, outstanding customer service everywhere? And so we started a program called Customer Service First, and we hired Dennis Snow from Disney. And Dennis worked with us for about 15 years, and it took customer service straight up. But we got to a point where we could kind of outgrew Dennis, and we were looking for somebody to come in and really give the boost that we needed I wanted excellence everywhere. And so I had known Horst Schulze, the founder of Ritz-Carlton. We were in a CEO forum together. Horst was coming to Abilene to speak at ACU. And so I packed it with my guys, and once they heard Horst speak, they were like, this is who we need. And I really, my thought was that'll be a cold day in hell, because Horst is considered the number one customer service person in the world. And he makes a lot of money by giving 1-hour speeches at conventions and all over 4 or 5 of those a week. And I thought, there's no way we could ever afford him. Well, my guys talked him into coming to work for us. And he works for Lexus, Cancer Centers of America, Chick-fil-A, and us. Oh, wow. And I will tell you, he's amazing. I think Horst is probably 86 today. He will wear me out when he comes. He's got great energy, but he is so savvy on business and so savvy on customer service. And he's who brought us our 21 non-negotiables. Just like this is our card, and this folds up. This is what everybody has.
I
It's
got
our
one at the
non-negotiables.
conference.
We take it everywhere we go, just like Ritz-Carlton does, and but we live by it. And so every day we have a lineup, and across the bank we're doing the same non-negotiable. So basically every 21 days you're going through the non-negotiables again. So it's not the flavor of the month club. It is how we live. It is how we eat, sleep, and breathe it, frankly. And that's the way we want it. And these non-negotiables are all just good etiquette of how you take care of the customer. If someone comes in to see anybody at the bank, they're greeted within 9 feet of everyone. Every employee that they get within 9 feet greets them. And so they're greeted many times. If they walk in and say, I'm come to see Scott Dueser, they don't go, he's up on third floor. They go, let me take you. And they personally escort that person up, introduce their name, and we have a warm transfer as they come up, say, Mr. Dueser, Eric is here to see you. And the employee leaves, Eric, you and I have our conversation. Same thing happens on the phone. If I get a phone call that comes through the phone center, I get a warm entrance where if that customer is already told that telephone our operator, what the problem is, he or she gets on the line with me first and says, okay, here's the customer's name, here's their problem, so they don't have to repeat it again. And then they get the customer on with me and say, here's Mr. Dueser, and it was good to visit with you today. I've already told him what you've told me, and I'm going to get off and let y'all visit. So everything's a warm transfer. You're never, it's just stuff like that. We do not let voicemail answer our phones. And I hate voicemail because you don't know whether that person's on vacation for 2 weeks or they're dead.
Right.
And so you don't know whether you're going to get a call back. If someone answers the phone, that, hey, they're gone for 2 weeks or, whatever, let me get you to somebody else. And so customer gets taken care of. And that's one of the things I'm big on. How many businesses do you call that you go from one person to the next and you tell them the story over and over and over again? Yes. Our deal is get them fixed now. And the sooner we get them fixed, it saves us time, saves their time, and they're a lot happier. And so, we don't have that. If whoever answers the phone can't fix it, they get them to the expert that can, and it gets done. And so it's stuff like that makes a difference.
So Scott, I want to commentate here for a minute. The passion in your voice about this topic is telling. And let me first back up and make a really bad joke. When you were talking about you were going in the branches and you saw some good service, mediocre service, horrible service, let's all get on the same page. But you weren't wanting to all get on the same page of mediocrity.
No.
Let's get on the same page of excellence. And so there was a setting of really clear expectations, and bringing in an expert from Disney for a long stint to help you walk through that. Bringing on Horst from the Ritz-Carlton background. Y'all have made significant investments of time and money and attention in this. It must be important to you, and that sure sounds like it in your voice too. The intensity with which you're talking about these details about transfers, and they're big.
I don't lack passion.
In case anybody on the listening did not pick up on that, I wanted to make sure and point it out.
I don't lack passion. I'm very passionate about what we do. I'm very passionate about how we take care of the customer and how we take care of our stockholders and how we take care of our people and how we take care of our communities.
Good.
All of that goes together. But, customer service is because if you live this,
The
You're living
values
it.
and the
You
credo
live
and the
it for
mission.
those other groups too. So it's just not our customers. You live it with each other. And
Right.
part of these non-negotiables are about how you work together. That if somebody, I've always said if one of our employees is having a hard time getting everything, they have so much to do, it's when you don't leave, you stay and help them. And, I've never left when a subordinate has something to do. I stay with them and help them get it done. And so, but that's that teamwork of going, hey, you've got too much to do. Let me help you, and I'll stay late too.
Right. Right.
And get it done, get it fixed.
Well, the intensity and the specificity of here's what we want to do, taking care of customers, when you translate that in terms of the details, but with the same kind of passion, like you said, with us taking care of each other internally, but also taking good care of our vendors, our investors. I mean, regulators are people too.
That's right.
Communities are affected. Our employees' families are affected by what we're doing in our business.
It's how you treat everybody. And regulators are very important. You better treat them
Absolutely.
right,
That's
or
right.
and you better appreciate what they do. Now, do I always agree with them?
No.
No. And can I disagree with them? Yes.
Are
But
they always right?
it has to be respectful,
Right.
and I have to know the points that I have to make. And, I'm not always right. And so, it's and they bring the best interest, to the table, and many times the best practices.
It's interesting. You talked about one thing that jumped out at me, 9 feet. When I'm in the branch and I get within 9 feet of the customer service representative, the teller, the trust person, why 9 feet? Why that specific?
Horst did all the study and that psychological study of when they're in your space and when they expect something to happen. And so that was part of what we got out of all the research he did at at
They're at
gosh, Ritz
Carlton.
Carlton, and we were able to use that.
So I have the benefit of y'all have him in an engagement, a relationship. I have the benefit of having read his book that Michelle, your CFO, was gracious to send to me. And so I've heard him in the book talk through a lot of these same things. And it's very interesting how practical, how focused, but how he's not coming up with arbitrary 9 versus 20 feet or this or that, but he's thinking carefully about how do we engage in ways that make them comfortable, make them feel respected and honored, and where we can serve them well.
hmm hmm So true. And that's exactly what the customer wants.
It's interesting to me as well, and I mentioned your CFO sent this to me. She and I had a conversation on this a little while back, and she told me she was newer to the organization. I forget how long Michelle's been there.
You've been for 4 years.
Okay. So she'd been there maybe a year and a half when we had our conversation, and she was impressed with the onboarding, employee onboarding. I want to come back to that in a little bit. But she also told me quite a bit about that daily time, talking about the 21 values and how you cycle through that. One of the things that impressed me was it was not just the leader of each shop, each department, talking at the employees, but you all take turns each talking about each value. Talk about
Correct.
that a little bit.
Well, I love what we do. And I'll give you a great example. Uh, our area has the accounting group in it because all the people that work with our CFOs.
You are
It,
blessed
it,
and highly favored, and what a position of, yeah,
we are, and
you live a good life there.
I love being with them, but it was a group of ladies that worked very hard but never said anything. I would when I went through their area because I'd have to go there to the copier.
Right?
I would scream out "Good morning," and they'd finally say "Good morning" to me. It was just. But when we started this, all of a sudden they came out of their shells and they loved being able to add and being able to lead. And sometimes, for a while, like it was the first time that they'd ever led lineup. They were like, they're scared to
That's
death.
what you call when you get together at the
Yeah,
start of the
it's
day.
what's called
Lineup.
lineup, and it's everybody in each department. And some departments have them at different times. Ours is at 8:15. Some are at 8:30. But every department has it that day, that morning. And you talk about that same non-negotiable all across the bank. Somebody in the bank uh, the day before writes their comments about it. And it may be an employee, it may be a teller, it may be a maintenance man, it may be me, but it's somebody. Today, all our interns are taking every day and
Oh, that's
writing
great.
about it. And
Oh, how
it's
fun.
cool. And then they have to lead it the next day. And so it's giving them that ability to do it. But I have yet to see, and we've been doing this for years, I've yet to see the comments the night before that I didn't like. They're all very personally written and very well done. And so it's just, and I read them every night before I leave because they come out that afternoon. And then I email them back and tell them personal things about what I liked about what they said.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so they know that I'm on the team. And so it's a great process. It's also a great process of talking about things if you have something going on in your office that you need to address or they need to know. Um, and I'll give you, for instance, we use it. Uh, we had a we had one of our uh, branch managers, loan officers pass away a couple of weeks ago. Very quick, tragic, and so it was over a holiday weekend, and we go through a process when that happens that I'm very specific about what happens because our bank family needs to know. They don't need to hear from us. They don't need to hear it from someone else. They don't need to see it on the news. And so you have to act quickly.
Right.
But here they're coming in off a holiday weekend on Tuesday. They've just lost a loved one. And many times that is like a family member. They'd worked for this
Yes.
guy for 15 years. And so what I had the president of the bank there. I said, you got a lead lineup, and I want you to have a psychologist or a minister that can work through, is used to working through this type of situation and can do counseling for them. And that's what we do. So as a group, they talked about it, and the minister was able to give some thoughts on grief counseling. And he said at the time, I'm going to be over in this office all day long today. So as you want, you come and see me and let's talk about this. And so that gave everybody the opportunity, and he was busy all day long. Of the employees going over there that wanted to talk about their grief and wanted to go through that. But that all started with lineup of being able to talk about it as a group
Yes.
and then
Yes.
individually talking about it. And
Well, so
so
it's, I'm interrupting you here, but even the ones that may not have gone in to talk to the minister, the fact that y'all as a leadership team lined that up as a resource for them,
it's a must.
it communicates something about you valuing them as individuals, you understanding the reality of grief. And we can't change what they're going through, but we can be human in our responses about the human challenges they're facing.
You want to make it the best you can make it because
That's
it's
good.
going to be a bad day. And the other thing that we do, and it's just this all is things that I've picked up through the years that work and make people feel good. When they come in, there's a big bouquet on this guy's desk with his picture. Okay. That tells every customer, every employee, we are honoring him. Okay. But every employee has their own set of flowers that's just delivered to them with a note from management because they're in grief.
Right.
And so it's the way of saying, hey, we're going to walk through this with you every step of the way.
And again, okay, the bean counter numbers parts, y'all are making it, these are small, but they add up. But you're being intentional about making another investment here, like you
Sure.
do with working with the guy from Disney, working with Horst. You're spending resources, again, on something that's important and doesn't show up on the bottom line in the way that other kinds of things do,
But it does.
but it
It
does in a
does.
very indirect way in terms of the loyalty of your people, their engagement. Wow, that's
Well,
powerful.
we spend a lot of money on training. Like our new employee orientation is a week long. And that's what Horst created. He said they cannot hit their desk until they've gone through orientation. And they know they're trained in the customer service aspect. They're trained. They know all the different parts of the bank. They get to meet every one of the different leaders of the bank, go talk about their area. I go give a overall deal about the company, where the company's going. So they hit their desk knowing a lot about the company. And then all the training that we do, from teller training to personal banker training, all of that, we've got teams that are the best. And then we have a course. Well, we have, you always, what gets me is you'll take your best teller and you'll put her or him into a teller supervisor, but they don't know how to supervise. So we have a course, a leadership course that's called Manager to Leader. And it's taught by Julie Lynch. And she does a wonderful job of coming in and teaching you. It's a week-long course, how to be a leader,
Wow.
and how to manage people. But it's more on leadership than it is on management. But those are the type of dollars we
Right.
spend. We have a course that for mid-management to move up to upper management, it's called FFIN University. And it's a year-long course done in quarters, but we have speakers come for it that's teaching you it. You're teaching about liability management, the bond portfolio, the loan portfolio, things like that. But you're also in how to fine tune the bank to have a high performance bank.
Right.
But it also teaches like how to deal with the media, because you got to know how to give a speech, how to present a speech, how to,
It's
you
good.
know, how if that microphone gets in your face and the TV camera, what are you going to say? How are you going to say it? You got to know how to do that. If the newspaper walks in and they want a quote, what are you going to give them? How are you going to give it to them? Those type of things. We have a lady that comes and teach etiquette, how to entertain, business etiquette. Those things are extremely important today because they're not taught.
Right.
Parents don't teach their kids etiquette. And so all these people we're bringing into the bank really didn't ever learn etiquette. This These non-negotiables are all about etiquette. So it puts it all together for you why you do what you do.
Right. How to treat,
And it's
practically, how to treat people with respect and courtesy.
That's right. That's right.
So
And it's those type of things.
you're not making assumptions. You're not making people have to guess in the moment. One of the a theme that's striking me through here is the intentionality, thinking through it, seeking the resources to help your people, investing in this, the time, the energy, the attention. And I'll just tell you, the onboarding with your employees, that's powerful. The ongoing affirmation in the lineup, that that takes it to a different level of effectiveness in my view. As I think about culture, it's really our lived, shared values. You've made the values clear, you're showing how to live them, and then the ongoing daily discussion, particularly when everybody gets a chance to speak about it, and that helps them own it.
Right.
We share it more effectively when it's not just something tucked up on the side that we refer to occasionally, or just on the first slide of the employee orientation. This is something that's at the heartbeat of your organization, and I'm convinced it's part of the driver of the broader success of the organization.
No question. No question. And what it does is it catapults our people to higher levels because they're constantly learning. We have put more students through Southwestern Graduate School of Banking than any other bank.
I believe it.
And
Had
and
several in my class there a couple weeks ago.
we have 8 there right now. And so we constantly are moving them up the ladder, investing in them so that they can be that upper level. That's our future. And that's every bank's future. If you're not doing that, you're making a mistake.
If
And
I'm
that's why
right,
we have such a great team today of young people.
if I'm right, I'll see several more at the Texas Tech School of Banking in August.
You will.
Y'all have people there
There's
too as
probably
well.
another 6 or 8 there.
Mhm.
So, oh
Well,
yeah.
I'm impressed. The results are impressive. The passion and the intentionality is impressive. I'd like to shift gears for a minute if we've got about
Okay,
five
I'm
minutes to
ready.
go. And I enjoyed the book, so I'm grateful y'all sent it to me. I was about to go buy it myself when Michelle said, "Hey, it's on the way." So I got to go turn that Amazon order off. But there are a couple of quotes in here that I want to read them to you cold,
Okay.
and a couple of themes that Horst talks about. This is in
Hmm.
the chapter on more than a pair of hands. On page 104, he says, before you post a single job opening, take time to think about what kind of person could do this job successfully and even joyfully. Let me give you one more. A couple pages over, talk about a situation where they're trying to figure out what went wrong in a spot. He says, if we carefully select people and then train them thoroughly, awkward moments when something goes wrong should be few and far between. We will be able to experience more moments of sheer joy as we see employees thriving in their work and making strong contributions.
So true.
Joy is not a word I regularly see in business leadership books. I'm seeing it regularly in here. Frankly, I've been bumping into it in other conversations over and over again for the last couple of weeks. But talk about that, the joy as it relates to people. And then I've got one more topic.
Okay. Well, joy is very biblical,
Yes.
and joy comes from the Holy Spirit. And so, joy is what you want your people to have. Yeah, not every day is a good day.
Nope.
And not all of us are going to go through good days,
Today's
but
a
you
great
got
day.
to.
We're getting to have a conversation, but
We're
not every
getting to
day's
have a
like this.
conversation, and I'm enjoying it greatly. But joy is one of those things that you want your people to have because it makes the difference of how they do their job. And if they go home and they have joy in their heart, they're going to come back every day. And so that's what's important. And I love the fact that you picked the first one, the first quote, because, Horst says, you don't hire people, you select them. And there's a big difference between hiring and selecting. And you need to select the best. And he has helped us do that tremendously on how to pick the right people. You don't hire a horse to climb a tree.
Right, right,
You got to have
right,
the right person at
right,
that job. I mean,
right.
you know, you're not uh, you're not going to take somebody off the teller line and putting them as CFO. Different people have different things that they're good at, and you got to select them for the right position.
That's good. Well, that actually is a good segue into the other theme I wanted to go to. The next two quotes are about people. Okay, let me find, where was the first one? I went by it. All right. This is out of his chapter about managers push, leaders inspire, and he's quoting another leader, but he says this, there is no business, there are only people. Business exists only among people and for people. And let me read you one more, then I'll let you respond. A couple pages over, he says, business, and this is Horst again, business is just a summary word for a multi-level set of very human exchanges. We may be doing all kinds of technical stuff. We may be doing high-level finance and banking this and that. We may be, his example was manufacturing semiconductor chips, but peel it all away. It's just a summary word for this multi-level set of very human exchanges. Talk about that a little bit.
It's all in communication, and you got to be able to communicate with employees. That's why I am big. I like teams together. I do not like people at home because it's hard to be part of the team.
Right, right.
And I think the teamwork, the communication, the fact that people can get together, I can go have an ALCO meeting within minutes if something happens, and that's very important. And so you think about it, you got to be able to communicate, you got to be able to to move along, make decisions. The quicker you do those, the better off you're going to be. And so it's all about the team being together and being able to communicate and get things done, because it's all people. If you don't have the people, you don't have a business, and you got to have the right people.
And it's all people taking care of people. Okay, good.
And your team has got to know you have their back.
Right. Yep. Wow. Scott, there's lots here for all of us as steward leaders, including our listeners, to keep on thinking about. Thank you so much for taking time for today's conversation.
Well, my pleasure. Eric, you've just done a great job. I love a CPA that can get on a podcast and handle a podcast and ask great questions. I mean, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Well, you're very kind. This has been a treat. We may do another one sometime.
Well, let's do.
All right. Well,
it's been
so
my
much.
pleasure.
Me too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for listening to Steward Leaders. If this conversation was helpful, you can find more episodes and additional resources at stewardleaderspodcast.com. Leadership is temporary. Stewardship is about forever.